What's up? My name is Mitch Mccotter.
Hey, I'm Dan Weber. We just wanted to come on and give you guys a quick, in-depth recap of our tournament at the Harris Chain a couple weeks ago. Um, you know, we did a bunch of research before we got down there. The Harris Chain, there is 5 or 6 lakes that you can fish, and they're all separated by locks and canals. Did a bunch of research. We were trying to kind of thinking it was going to be a pre-spawn, maybe a little bit of spawning deal. But it kind of was a lot different than what we had kind of planned, wasn't it, Mitch?
Yeah, 100%. We weren't exactly sure what the fish were going to be doing. Once we got down there, I myself was hoping for some spawning fish, but they just weren't really quite in that stage. And so once we got down there, we just kind of had to fish with like an open mind and just fish the way that the water was going to tell us to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was first day of practice. We decided to start on Lake Griffin, and we were kind of started on the south end, didn't really find anything. I think about halfway through the day, first day of practice, we kind of stumbled on some grass on the northern end, and kind of just landed on a group of fish that were very, very small. I think that we caught probably 10 or 12 fish, and 4 of them were keepers. Keepers 12 inches down there. So obviously we were happy that we had found some fish to fish for, but definitely was not what we were thinking that we needed to do well in the tournament because of it's Florida, everybody's catching big ones, right? So Mitch, what did we do on the second day? We kind of switch gears. And
so the second day, we switched it up. We went to Eustis, and then we went to Dora, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Don't have to talk about either of those for too long because we didn't find anything over there. We were hoping those fish would be on shell, but they weren't, sadly. And we fished a little bit of offshore grass, fished some more shell, and long story short, for day 2, we just didn't really find anything that we were in love with or that we wanted to fish for the tournament day on Friday. So
yeah,
day 2 was pretty much a wash. I don't think I caught a fish on day 2.
Yeah. And then I think third day of practice, if you guys know the way the lake kind of sets up, there's Lake Apopka, which is about an hour and 30-minute run from the launch ramp, which was located in Big Harris, through a lock. And so we decided, hey, let's just go down there. If we happen upon something crazy good down there, then that'd be awesome. But we ended up not. But we went down there and got 3 or 4 bites down there that were decent size, but it just wasn't quite enough on that third day of practice. So that I think it was, I guess the tournament was on Friday, so Thursday night we're done with practice, tournament's in the morning, and we're sitting there kind of scratching our heads, kind of thinking of like what we were going to try to do for the tournament. We had thought maybe if we got lucky we could catch 5 fish down in Apopka, but it's a big, big gamble going down there. Like I said, going through that lock. So we ultimately decided to just go ahead and go up to Griffin, where we found some fish on the first day of practice for the tournament. And I think that it worked out. Obviously, it worked out for us. So what boat number were we, Mitch?
I think we were 41, 42. Yeah, so we had a pretty good draw. I think we were the second flight in the lock on the way to Griffin for tournament morning, which was a big factor for the weight that we caught and for the fish that we caught.
Yeah.
Because by the time we had been fishing our offshore spot for about an hour, we had probably 15 to 20 boats within a 500-yard circle around our boat. So safe to say it was paramount that we got there first or second or something like that.
Yeah.
And we got on this little section that we fished for a pretty good while on Friday.
Yeah. I think obviously we started on this one grass bed, and kind of as the tournament progressed, we were able to kind of dial in on what specific area of that grass that the fish were using. And basically once we, I think, caught one in a specific area on like our third or fourth cast, and then fished around for about an hour, and then kind of drifted back into that same spot where we caught that one. And then I think Mitch hooked up with a 4.5. A couple minutes later I hooked up with a 3.5. And then a couple minutes after that we filled out our limit with a couple 2-pounders, and that was where we caught the majority of our weight. And I think by about we basically fished it all day long until we left at 1:45, and it was a strong, like I think like a northeast wind that was just kind of churning up the grass a little bit too much, and there was really that good bite window, and that was pretty much it for the day. I know that we went back through the lock and tried to fish a couple more spots in Eustis and Big Harris, but it just ended up not working out for us. So, I definitely didn't think we had as much weight as we did, but we kind of pulled into launch, got checked in,
and what time was the weigh-in? 3:45.
So
checked in, 3:45. That says a lot because it took us about an hour and 30 to an hour and 45 to get back to weigh in from where we were fishing. So
yeah,
we just had to be safe, make sure that we were not going to waste our bag, which we did not think we had what we had. On the way back, I thought maybe 11 and a half, but it seems like the fish kind of grew in that live well a little bit.
It never happens ever. So it was pretty pleasant surprise for us for those fish to grow, and so I think we had a good event. When we weighed in, we dropped them on the scales. They weighed 13, 14. 14, 13.
14, 15.
Almost 15 pounds, and I think when we weighed in, we were in third place, and then ended up getting knocked down to 13th by the end of the weigh-in at a 2:30. So definitely a solid event for us. And Mitch, why don't you? I know you got your rod over here. Why don't you let them know what we were kind of doing?
So this was the setup on tournament day that qualified us for the national championship next year up north. Smacked my rod on the ceiling. So this year, this is a 7'3" rod, and I was fishing I guess it was a Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Worm, tilapia magic, which is kind of a coincidence because there's tilapia inside of all of the lakes over there, so could have been a match the hatch, but probably not. Just fishing it on a half-ounce weight on the top and just dragging this thing pretty slow. So it's a closer look at the bait. I don't know if that's focus, but this was the bait that we did most of the work on Friday for. So
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the newsletter. And we are off to Lake Murray tomorrow, so we're really excited for that, and hopefully you guys can support us throughout the season. So just want to say thanks, and what do you got, Mitch?
I just want to say thanks to all the people that got us down to the chain. Thank you for the supporters and for all the people that followed us. We are super, super thankful for it, and we look forward to putting up a good season for y'all. And thank you to all of the sponsors that we have as well.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See ya.